Uh-oh. Hey, can y'all hear me? We're having technical difficulties. Hey, that one works. All the testing to make sure everything's good. And then when it comes down to it, it gets all messed up. It is all out of whack. Dang it, man. Well, hey, screw it. We'll just go with this and it'll look a little weird. Oh, that's upsetting. Guys. No! Alright. Alright, everybody hang tight for a minute. I will be right back. Alright. Can everybody hear everything alright? Is it working? What's up, fellas? Man. So, hopefully everybody can hear me all right and everyone can see what's going on. And we have a picture and sound. All right. So what is going on tonight, fellas? I hope everybody had a great weekend. It is episode number 60. Episode number 60. Excuse me. Starting this show off right. George Watts, what's up? Hey, tomorrow it's supposed to be cold as hell here in Atlanta. So, I don't know about where you're from, but it's going to be cold here. Hello, Vito Campanaro. Welcome to the show. Oops. Had to help somebody. Hey, it always looks like I just woke up. I'm always wearing the jammies, you know, a comfortable shirt. It's getting a little cold here in the house, you know, so I gotta wear some long sleeve stuff. So today we're gonna be doing a couple of things. I got some neat stuff today that I want to show to you guys, and but before we do that, we're gonna throw the 90mm in-runner high-performance EDF unit into the Freewing 90mm F-16. And I've tested the motor out. It works great. We just need to drop it in. And what I want to show you guys is why I'm not using the FMS fan. right, so I'm gonna switch up the camera view here a little bit. Hey, now you guys can see me up in the corner, you know, up in the upper left-hand corner for you guys. You should see me. Hi, I'm still here. We're just looking at a close-up view of the little EDF opening for the F-16. Now, I was gonna put the FMS. This is the FMS Platinum 90mm. This is the old Outrunner version with the holes in the spinner. And I was going to take this and drop it right on into this F-16. But the problem is that these little vanes that come out to the side here, they don't match up. And, you know, unlike the newer Freewing models, this older F-16, you know, I would have to make some pretty hefty modifications to the foam to get this to go in there. And I just don't want to mess with that. You know, the spinner on the front doesn't get past this foam area, and these vanes on the back don't get past here. You know, I'd have to cut that out. I'd have to make a bunch of modifications, and I just don't want to mess with it. So I went to our good friends at RC Castle, and I got the Freewing 1900 kV in-runner 90mm fan unit. This should just drop right in. We shall see. So this is the Freewing fan. I don't know if y'all can see that where it says Freewing right there. So this is the new high performance motor that they're putting in all their 90mm now. And it should just drop right in, no problem. And I can already tell that it is going to. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on in here. And see what happens. Now the first thing I want to do is kind of plug up the ESC, or plug the motor into the ESC, power it up, make sure it's spinning the right direction before I button everything up. That way we at least know that we don't need to cross any wires over. So I've got that all plugged in. Let's get the radio fired up. I might have some time to talk to y'all because, you know, IX12 needs to boot up, and that takes a bit. So what's everybody up to? Yeah, cut the blue wire. Well, you know, my guess is what we're going to do is after we get everything like buttoned down, I'm going to make sure that I have enough wire in there where I can fit these scissors in there and just clip all the motor wires while it's running, all at the same time. Just whack all the motor wires at once. Because I'm pretty sure if I do that, it's not going to hurt nothing. Because the battery's pretty much dead, right? So once the radio gets fired up, we will throw, I've got a smart 4000 G2 pack that we're going to use for testing. And, you know, I'll tell you guys, for those that saw this plane in its previous state, this thing has come a long way. You know, I got all the gear doors and everything working well over the weekend, which was kind of a pain in the butt. But I've got everything buttoned up as far as the gear doors go. So now the gear and the door sequencing is all working right. The door's fully closed, which makes me happy. We've got the navigation lights working the way I want them. And initially when we hooked this thing up, it was a little while back on the show, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had showed you guys the lights on the plane and they were all flashing, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. But as it turns out, the F-16 does have flashing navigation lights. You know, who'd have thunk Motion RC got it right? But they did. Freewing actually did an incredible job on this plane. Everything is correct on it as far as, you know, scale, accuracy, and all that goes. The navigation lights are supposed to flash. I went and watched a bunch of videos of F-16s taking off at night, and that's what they're supposed to look like. So that's how we're going to use it. Now we got the radio turned on. We should be able to go ahead and fire up this bad boy. So this is the first time that the ESC has been powered up. And wouldn't you know, it is blowing backwards. So we're going to swap a couple of the motor leads, get the thrust going in the right direction, and then strap this thing down. Well, I guess I could flip the camera view again so y'all can kind of see what's up here. Oh, and I want to mention it now before we get too far into the show. For those of you guys that tune into GB Linden's show on Wednesday, if you don't, you should, because GB puts on a good show. This past Wednesday, GB was doing a giveaway for his 30,000 subscriber milestone, which is awesome. And at the very end of the giveaway, I swooped in and gave away a UMX Night Vapor. So that was this past Wednesday. And our buddy Nate Kugel won the UMX Night Vapor, which is very cool. Now, what is also very cool is that the mighty post office and all the powers that be that decide who's going to get what when, we're very generous, and Nate has already received his UMX Night Vapor, which is awesome. So if you want to check out Nate with his Night Vapor, you can find that on Instagram, and you can also catch him tonight on Gooniac's stream. Ray Gooniac Fiery Booty, Gooniac 33 Fiery Booty is the name of his YouTube channel. Go check that out. You'll be able to see Nate playing with his brand new Night Vapor, courtesy of the RC Air Marshal and GB Linden. 2 hours later. All right, so we got the EDF unit installed. I'm going to do one more little operational test here to make sure that that's blowing in the direction. Yes, it is. That is blowing in the direction that I want it to. So we're going to go ahead and mount that EDF unit down in there. And also, if y'all don't have one of these, it is a magnetizer for your drills and screwdrivers, drill bits, things like that. Little magnetizer, demagnetizer. Helps keep you from losing screws and all that stuff. Check them out. They're available on Amazon. You can get the Amazon by going to rcairmarshal.com, clicking the Amazon link, and you can find a magnetizer, demagnetizer, just you know, do a little searching. Gotta push the links, fellas. Gotta push the links. I know that's not what y'all are here for, is to buy magnetizers and demagnetizers. Nobody gives a crap about all that. Let's make this plane work. That's what I'm talking about. Let's make this plane work. So this fan just dropped right in, no problem. All the holes line up. Perfect. Where is the fiery booty? So Jeff in Lower Alabama the Freewing F-16, let's just say like the HSD F-16 is almost identical to the Freewing F-16, just bigger. And I'll show you guys what I mean here in a moment. Once we get this all buttoned up. All right. That is all good to go. We've got the EDF cover that's going in. And that is not sitting down all the way like I want it to. And I don't know why. Now, I won't say that the F-16 doesn't need an afterburner, but there's no clear coat on here. This is how it is out of the box. So, it's not that this plane doesn't need an afterburner or want an afterburner or wouldn't look great with an afterburner, but it already has an afterburner LED ring built into it. Into the exhaust pipe, and it looks kind of silly because it's red. It's like a big red thing, and it doesn't look as good as some of the the third-party afterburners, like Ray's and RC Geek, but it doesn't look terrible. And because of the way it's all wired in, I really don't want to mess with it. I'm just gonna leave it and let it be what it is. But the F-15 back here is absolutely gonna get a Gooniac fiery booty. So this thing, it really is all out of whack. Of course it is. Of course it's all out of whack. Anytime you try to do something live, it never works the way you want it to. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna strap it on in there and go with it. Let's see, in my big old collection of screws and such. Now I want to find out what let's see. So I'm just looking up the F-16 manual real quick to find out what the right size screw is that goes onto the ADF cover here. If it's in the manual, hopefully it is. I'm just looking that up real quick like. On the website there is a super scale 90mm EDF jet. Let's see, support. There's the instructions. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anywhere in the instructions it shows what we're supposed to use to hold the afterburner in, or not the afterburner, but the fan. Oh, L. PA 3x10, 2 pieces. Alright, so one more little search. All right.
Inactivity.
Oh, you lady.
Inactivity.
Doesn't look like I have that style screw in here, so we're gonna just use a different kind, screw it. Ha! there it is. All right. So we got the cover back on. All right, and now we're going to glue this cover back on because during the, that one's coming loose. So while I was, putting the model together and getting everything ready to go, a couple of the cheater vents broke loose. We're just going to get some glue down in there and get these things stuck back down the way they're supposed to be. Doot, 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 doot. All right. Of course, some of this stuff doesn't line up just perfect, which makes everything kind of a pain in the butt, but that's okay. We're getting closer and closer to this thing being ready to go. And the last little piece that I have that I want to throw on here is the ventral fins. I had to order these from RC Castle as well. Motion RC doesn't even have these as a spare part for the plane, which isn't really that surprising because all they are is a couple of pieces of plyboard that have been painted, the same color gray as the rest of the plane. So, I mean, why sell them when you can make them pretty quick, right? I don't know if that's, Motion's philosophy with these things is why sell a part that most people are just going to make. I didn't feel like making it, so I just ordered it from RC Castle. It was just a few dollars. All right, there's one of them on. All right, and I mean, I don't know how much the ventral fins do for these models. I know on the full-size airplanes they help a lot, but on the models, do they really do a lot? Maybe. you know, on this big heavy bird, they might make a big difference. You know, I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. You know what I mean? Alright, and this is the last. Little screw that we got to get in there. Oh. All right. So everything is now looking good. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect the battery here and move this camera back a little bit. I mean, we're pretty much done with the camera work for now. So we'll move that out of the way. But we'll be bringing it back here in a little bit because y'all are going to get some close-ups of some other things, but not nasty things. All right. So I'm going to get the battery strapped in here because I want to, for those of you guys that have not seen one of these high performance, I mean it's high performance now, it was just regular performance, it was no performance, you know, 10 minutes ago, but now it has the high performance 90mm end runner fan in there, which I am pretty excited about. We're going to get this battery strapped in here.
Inactivity.
Oh my God, this lady. Uh-oh. Oh man. All right. So we got the battery hooked up. Yep, and I want to let you guys kind of take a look at what this thing is all about because it is a pretty awesome model. Pretty awesome. Okay. Yep, so everything is flashing around at the right way. And you kind of gotta be careful how you pick it up. You can't just pick it up, you know, from the middle, because you might crush some things that you don't want crushed. You know, but like every good F-16, you've just got your ailerons. And yeah, let me just set it down right on the table. Tricky. All right, so this has, you know, all your standard features. It's got full flying stabs, nice rudder. Your ailerons are just ailerons, full span ailerons, just like a real F-16. For now, I don't have flaperons dialed in, but that is okay. And now we also have some thrust. So what I want to do, and I believe this will be okay, because the ESC and the so this might make some noise. I'm afraid to just let it rock. I think it'll blow the whole TV over. So I'm going to try to disconnect the ESC and see if I can get just the
Timer start. Timer stop. Timer start.
There we go.
Timer stop.
Yeah, that way you guys can see that afterburner.
Timer start.
So there's an afterburner ring in there already.
Timer stop. Timer start.
But it's kind of silly
Timer
looking.
start.
You know, so ultimately I may end up going,
Timer start.
you know, with the Guniac afterburner in addition to the red one. So the red and the yellow should make some pretty crazy stuff happen. We'll get that plug back in so it'll stop yelling at me. So hopefully y'all were able to see that that afterburner ring in there. And I mean, it does look good, no doubt about that. It does look good, but I think it would look better with the afterburner ring and a center burner, so we can get some crazy stuff going on. Oh yeah, this thing's got some thrust. It's pushing it. I'm happy. All right. Now, another thing that must be shown off with this model is the good God awesome landing gear. So the landing gear on this is very similar to the HSD F-16, and also is very comparable to an actual F-16. So this is about as close to scale as you're going to get on a model, right? So check that out. I don't know if y'all can see that. The gear on this thing is just fantastic. I'm going to set it down on the wing there and cycle the gear for you. I mean, that is awesome. The landing gear on this thing is unbelievable. That is bad to the bone. I love this airplane. It is freaking phenomenal. So, at some point I'll probably be getting a new horizontal stab. This one has a little bit of crunchy in it. So, you know, for those of you guys that don't know the backstory, where this plane came from, how did I get it? When I went to the Mary Boozer Toys for Tots fly-in down in Mulberry, Florida at the Imperial RC Club, Wesley basically had this plane in a bag. It wasn't his airplane, it was given to him, and it wasn't in good shape, right? The fuselage had been torn up really bad, and he said, hey, you know, here's a bag of parts if you want to turn it into a working plane. And, you know, we're about $300 in parts deep. I've replaced the fuselage, the canopy, the nose cone. You know, Wesley already had the wings, he had the vertical stabs, and he had the horizontal stab, and he had all of the landing gear components, right? So all the metal components. He didn't have the gear doors or anything like that. So I went to work, you know, figuring out all the different parts and pieces that I need. I got like the complete, you know, the complete set of screws that you can get from Freewing for it, because I didn't have any screws. I've replaced a few servos here and there. A lot of the servos were still working. I had two tails, but both of the tails were kind of beat up a little bit. This is the better of the two. And you know, for what I got for $300, I'm pretty freaking happy. Where I think, I mean, I can probably repair, you know, this tail assembly and get that thing working again. But overall, I'm pretty freaking tickled with this airplane. You know, all of the stuff that I was able to salvage from the old fuselage, which was pretty beat up, we got everything working, and it's awesome. I mean, you guys saw it. Now, I'll tell you what, getting those landing gear back in here without having something to reference it from was kind of a challenge. But, you know, I think at the end, this thing is amazing. It is probably more scale than, you know, the super scale F-15 as far as scale detail of the landing gear, scale detail of the plane overall. You know, they do have that, you know, that LED light ring in there, which the F-15 does not have. I think they did more to make this airplane scale than they did on the F-15. And the F-15 looks amazing. You know, one of the things that the F-16 doesn't have that the F-15 does, the F-16 does not have working air brakes, which would be back here on either side of the you know, the exhaust nozzle. On the back, they've got like these clamshell air brakes that open up. those don't work, but I mean everything else does, and it works phenomenal. You know, all the control surfaces are as fast as you would expect them to be from a Freewing model. I've got thrust now. I'm pretty happy with how this thing has turned out over time. We're gonna get creative with the with the programming on this thing. I'm probably gonna set it up on the NX10. Right now I've got a 9-channel receiver in there, and I'm running the ailerons and the elevators on independent channels. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got the nose wheel on its own channel. So 7, 8. I think I'm running either 7 or 8 channels to make everything work the way you see it right now. And once we start rolling with it, I do plan on having flapperons and flight mode selectable tailerons. So when the flapperons are deployed, I'm gonna have the elevators acting as elevons, and when the flapperons are up, I'm gonna have it where these are just acting as elevators and the ailerons are controlling all of the roll rate. So kind of an ambitious programming scheme that I'm wanting to do, but I think with all the things that I have learned about Spectrum radios, I'm sure that I can do it, and it's just a matter of laying it all out and planning it out properly and getting everything programmed. But I'm thrilled with it. It moves now. It didn't when we started the show, so that's awesome. So I'm going to pull the battery. I'm going to get the plane out of the way, clean up a little bit because I have some more fun stuff that I want to show you guys. And I want to catch up with the chat because I've just been like blabbing. And I did see that there were some questions, so if you guys have had questions and I haven't answered them, don't worry. I will answer them. Be sure to just keep on keeping on. Ask them again, and we will get to them here in just a second. But I want to get this thing off the table here. Woo! Yep, the back of the plane has some the back of the plane finally has some weight to it with that motor installed. All right. We get the IX12 plugged back in. And put this thing to sleep. All right. So let's get back to the chat and catch up. Yeah, I just wanted to get right into getting that end runner put in there. It might, Roy. It might. The plan right now. Place the current E-flight. So, Dylan Eisfelder is asking, does he have to program an avian ESC if he replaces the current E-flight ESC in the F-16? And the answer is you might. So the E-flight F-16 has an in-runner, 70 millimeter fan unit, I believe. If you're talking about the 70 millimeter, if it's the 64 millimeter F-16 and you're putting like the 45 amp avian ESC in there, you may not have to do anything because that has outrunners. But you may need to adjust the timing for an in-runner and run it at low timing. William asks, can you charge the new Spectrum G2 batteries with a Gen 1 charger? And the answer is yes, but you will need to perform the Gen 2 update on your Gen 1 charger. All of the first gen Spectrum Smart Chargers have an update that you can do on them that will make them G2 compatible. So run that update against those chargers and you can charge these Gen 2 batteries no problem. Yep, so Dylan Eisfelder, I would probably look at getting the programming card for your ESC, or you can do stick programming, but it's a little more confusing, you know, where you're using the sticks of the radio to go through all the programming options, and you will probably find that you'll get better performance out of that in-runner on the 70mm E-Flight EDF using low timing, like soft startup settings. Rather than the stock settings. The stock settings are made for outrunner motors. All right. Joe Valdez, how you doing? Race 22 crew, there are a set of the air brakes for the F-16, and they are super complex. You know, the way that they articulate is amazing. I have no idea how much weight it adds to the back of the plane, but they look awesome. And I may do it. It does look phenomenal. They look fantastic. I've seen them and they're great. Mr. Ryan, what is up? Oh yeah, BD Tennessee. I'm gonna take care of all of that before I ever attempt to do a maiden on the model. I mean, I still need to program the radio. I still need to do all kinds of other stuff. Everything that I've done with it so far has been very basic, and you know, I'm getting it to the point where it's basically now a plug and play model. The receiver that's in there is not the receiver I intend to keep in there. I intend to use the Spectrum AR9350 9-channel AS3X receiver, but you have to do all the programming for that in the computer. And once I have that all programmed and set up, I'll be doing like the throttle calibration and all that stuff. And I still need to reset the timing on the ESC in this plane because it is still the original ESC, and this plane originally had an outrunner motor. So we're going to go in, adjust the timing, set it to soft startup, and set it to low timing so we get better performance. Captain Photon. I will try to get that out to you maybe tomorrow. I think we're going to take the day off of work tomorrow because most of our guys work outside. So when it's cold and freezing out, we don't send our guys out in the cold and freezing. So if we do end up taking the day off tomorrow for, you know, for freezing cold, I will get everything wrapped up for you. The radio's ready to go. I need to pull the receiver from the plane that it's sitting in and get it all packaged up and get in your way. So sorry about the delay, man, but we're definitely going to get it to you. Shadow, that is a big negative. Yeah, I get it, Ryan. It is kind of wussy, but you know, these are Georgia boys, man. They're not used to working outside. David, yourself, what is going on? And no, this is a Freewing, not an LX. So let's see. I'm just going right up through the chat here to make sure I didn't miss anything. I mean, I know I missed a lot, right? But we're gonna plow through it. Dana said, don't try to fly the F-16 at night. No, I will not be doing that. All right. So, F you, Kitty. So I've got some other neat stuff that I want to show to you guys tonight. And some of you are going to be like, man, that's cool. Some of you are going to be like, man, that sucks. We don't want to see that garbage. And that's cool. You know, this show is for everybody. I got to drag this back around. But I think that it is worth a look-see, you know? And I think that there are actually quite a few people in here that will be interested in what I've got for show and tell today, because it is going to be captured in video. And I think that when you guys see it, you know, for those that know what it is and know what I'm going to be doing a video on, I think that it's going to be nifty to see. I think there's some other videos on YouTube, but, you know, I haven't watched them. I don't know how detailed they are. All right, so we're going to go to a close-up shot here where you guys can see all the things in the goodie bag. All right, so in the goodie bag, anybody want to take a guess? What's in the goodie bag? No one's going to be able to guess it. Which picture? This one? It might be. Yes, there are definitely goodies in the goodie bag. No, there's no Radio Master RX in this here bag. Dave, I asked this question earlier when you were building, and some answered yet wanted your opinion. Using an AR-636 in my nitro plane, it's running an OS Max. That seems like a statement, but what's the question? Anybody else? Anybody? No 6S lipos. There's no butt plugs in here. There's no blow-up dolls. See, Mafia, what's up? No receivers. There are no receivers in this bag. All right. I'm taking it out. Can y'all see through the plastic yet? Do you know what it is yet? Ghost RC George Pryor. It is not any of those things. Can y'all tell what it is yet? I'm pretty excited about this. This is the CNC aluminum upgrade kit for the Radiomaster TX-16S, and this is in maroon. So all of the little bits and pieces that I need to upgrade my TX-16S to the Max Edition version of the TX-16. We've got like all of our knobs and switches, I mean, it even comes with new gimbals, or new gimbal like sticks. This is pretty slick. It comes with all of it. So we're going to be documenting that conversion process and installing the CNC aluminum kit into the TX-16S, and basically turning our TX-16 from a standard TX-16S into a TX-16 Max. And because it has crossfire, I guess it's like the TX-16S Master Fire Max, which is going to be pretty cool. We're not going to do that tonight. I'm going to actually, you know, film it, edit it, all that stuff, do it proper, and put that up on the channel. The upgrade of the TX-16S. Now, anybody want to take a guess to what's in this goodie bag? We got more goodie bags. David, yourself? Some jerks do that crap. Yeah, Wreck 'em Roy, like, this is absolutely 100% cosmetic. And if you're gonna get this, I mean, now you can just buy a TX-16 Max. When I bought my TX-16, this did not exist yet. So now that this does exist, I want to convert mine from the TX-16 and add all of the nice, you know, CNC bling to it. So this right here, no, it's not propellers. This is the other thing that I need to turn it into my TX-16S Max. So not only are we putting in the CNC bling, we are also going to be changing out the faceplate to the carbon fiber faceplate. And here's all kinds of little screws and doohickeys, and let's see if we can bust out one of these pieces. Yes. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, you can kind of see the little carbon fiber action going on there. So it'll be like carbon fiber, kind of charcoal color for the faceplate, and all the trim will be red, and I think it's going to look sweet. And there is the new front faceplate that's all carbon fibery. And I guess that like goes down in there and makes it look more carbon fibery. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. I've got the carbon fiber front faceplate and the red CNC kit. And just for you know, for reference, here's what my TX-16 looks like today, right? So it's just the standard black, you know, flat black. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it's a good looking radio, but I really like this carbon fiber faceplate. I think that looks freaking slick. And swapping out to the red trim, I think is gonna look slick. So yeah, that's gonna be something that we have going on here very soon, like. Oh, and I do have one other thing to show off. Now you guys know that I am pretty much a Spectrum kind of guy, but I really needed to check this out. So all this stuff, just in case you're wondering, you can get it all on Banggood. I was able to pick it all up at Grayson Hobby here in Atlanta. So, you know, at Banggood you can get a little bit better price, and, you know, whenever I do the videos, I'll have all that stuff up there that kind of shows, you know, we'll have links to all the components on Banggood if you don't mind waiting. If you want to get it today, you can get it from Grayson Hobby, and Grayson Hobby has great prices on everything, but, you know, and they're going to get it to you a lot faster. So this is the Radio Master. This is a new line of receivers from Radio Master, and this is the R168. So this runs on the FrSky D16 protocol. It is 8 channels of PWM output, and it also has S-Bus. It's got SmartPort, telemetry. It's good. It's good. What's the most exciting thing to me about this receiver is the price. So, for those that are not familiar, you know, and I know a lot of people don't want to mess with OpenTX, but listen, I just want to let everybody know what's up. So, here's my receipt from Grayson Hobby. All right, here's what's exciting about this receiver. All right, and I want to test the performance, right? On this channel, we don't discriminate. I do Spectrum. I do, you know, I do the OpenTX stuff. I mean, to me right now, the NX series radios and the TX-16S are the 2 most exciting radios on the planet today, as far as popularity. Look, I know there's better radios. All you Futaba guys, all you Jetty guys, look, you don't have to convince me. I know that those are awesome. And these, you know, $150 radio is not going to hold a candle to a $3,000 Futaba. Let's just get that out of the way. But, you know, for those of you guys that are on a budget and want to try out these TX-16s, I wanted to give this a go. This is the most advanced receiver that they make, right? And I know that you guys, I mean, some of you know how much this thing costs. This is $13 for an 8-channel S-Bus receiver. It's 13 bucks. And here's another thing that I like about it. You know, just for comparison, this is what is effectively the competition, or what this receiver is made to, you know, kind of replace or mimic. To some degree, right? This is the FrSky X8R ACC-ST protocol receiver. FrSky is not going to be making these anymore, right? All of their ACC-ST stuff, they're getting rid of it, right? They've switched over to their access protocol. This is what they want. So, you know, to kind of spit in the face of FR Sky, who have kind of spit in the face of all of the people that have loved them. Radio Master said, hey, who needs you? We're going to make our own receiver using your open protocol. Now, if you look at this X8R, and you look at the size of it, and then you look at this Radio Master, you can see that that Radio Master receiver is quite a bit smaller. It fits in a smaller footprint. You know, it's about the same width, about the same height, but it slims down quite a bit. You know, I don't know if you guys can see that it slims down and it's not as long. I mean, they fit the whole thing in a smaller package. It's got all the same features, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this behaves compared to the FR Sky. These are a great deal. These are only like $30, but this guy was $13. I mean, that is a smoking red hot deal. If this works well, I haven't tried it yet. I just took it out of the package. But if this works well for $13, man, that is one of the best deals ever for an 8-channel receiver. It does not have gyro stabilization or anything like that, but it does have S-Bus output. It can support up to 16 channels over S-Bus. So you could use this little guy to control one of those nice HSD planes. Just plug it in and go, and use an external gyro if you want to. So, I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to check it out. I want to see how it does, and if it's worth the crap. If it's not worth the crap, then, you know, it was only $13, and we could just take it and throw it in the trash, right? But, you know, I think that this is something that is going to be a great, I mean, potentially a great receiver for folks that, you know, that don't want to spend $500 on a Spectrum or $1,000, you know, on a Futaba or a Jetty, or, you know, one of the core radios. I mean, there's a lot of really nice transmitters out there, and I think that you know, this is a great alternative. And with what Radio Master is doing, I mean, look, at this point, I would say that Radio Master is becoming a disruptor. They're becoming a disruptor. And what I mean by that, for those of you guys that are, you know, familiar with like the tech industry, you know, where a company comes in and they start doing things a little different than everybody else. So they start offering a product that other people have been making and been successful with for years, and they do something that's where they can provide the same service. It's not exactly the same, you know, so it's an alternative service that provides ultimately the same outcome for a far cheaper price. You know, in the technology sector, that technology disruption is what caused, you know, like the great .com boom. Amazon, for example, huge disruptor of retail, and has put a lot of companies out of business. I think what, you know, what Radio Master is doing, and, you know, as much as I hate it for other companies, Radio Master is disrupting the shit out of the transmitter market. You know, they're making a really nice transmitter for a ridiculously low price, for $150. That's how much this transmitter costs, is $150 with Hall effect gimbals, nice switches, the potentiometers are nice. You know, it does run OpenTX, so from that perspective, you have to basically learn it. There's some great resources out there, but it's all open source. And it's just a different type of deal. And now with their introduction of these receivers, I mean, come on. These receivers, $13 for an 8-channel receiver. Nobody can touch that right now. So they're forcing everybody to play their game, and they're forcing everybody to play it by their rules. And, it's one of those things where you either have to change the way you play or you get left behind. So, I think that there's a couple of companies out there. I mean, there's some companies that are going to be completely safe from Radio Master. But I think Radio Master is in a very good position to make FR Sky scared as shit. And I think they're in a very good position to make Jumper scared as shit. And I wouldn't be surprised to see both of those companies go out of business because of what Radio Master is doing. They're lighting it on fire. They've got a huge amount of support over the last year or two that they've been in business. And I just don't see them slowing down. I mean, they're doing some awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And listen, I say all that while I'm wearing my Spectrum hat and I've got my NX10 and IX12 sitting behind me. I love my Spectrum radios, but I also am not, it is not lost on me what an impact Radio Master is having, outside of the fixed wing community. And there's a lot of fixed wing guys that are switching over to these too. So, they have forced people to pay attention to them. Quick. Joe Valdez, I mean, you do pay for what you get. That is true. And we had this discussion, if not last week, then the week before, where, like the hardware that you get with the TX16S is probably not that much different than what you would get in something like an NX10, the hardware. So, how much does it truly make from a hardware perspective to produce and manufacture an NX10? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Is it more than a TX16S costs from a strict hardware perspective? I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is TX16S has an entire open source development team that doesn't get paid squat except from donations from the community. So, the community helps them. Radio Master might chip in a few dollars to help out the OpenTX development team, but it's a group of guys that basically do this as a hobby. The difference in price lies in the fact that when Spectrum sells a radio, they've got a paid support staff supporting that radio, a phone support team, an email support team, a chat support team. They have to pay all those people. They've also got, excuse me, they've also got one of the best repair services in the industry. Hands down. You send them your radio, they fix it, send it back to you. They might charge you for parts, they might not. And that's for out of warranty radios. In warranty radios, they're not going to charge you for nothing. They're just going to fix it and send it right back out to you. Doesn't matter what's wrong with it. They're just going to test it all and get it all back and working. Whatever your report was, I mean, yes, they'll look at that primarily to make sure that that's working again, but any other thing that they find wrong, they'll fix that too, and they'll mail it back to you. You're paying for that. You pay for that up front. You pay for the, for the sales. You pay for the marketing. You pay for the network of dealers that are selling this thing. All of that stuff is, all of those people get a little bit of piece of that money every time one of these radios is sold. For the Radio Master, I'm sure that they don't have nearly the staff that is on the Spectrum team at Horizon. They don't have as many mouths to feed. They can sell these things for a lot cheaper. They don't have to support the software because it's open source, and there's a whole, community of people like us that help each other out with these things. It's a different animal. It's a different game. So, do I think that you're getting less of a radio when you buy something like this? Not really. I don't think you're getting less of a radio. What I do think you're getting less of is you're getting less manufacturer support. Your warranty service is not going to be as good. There are drawbacks to going this route. The learning curve, trying to figure out how to use one of these things. If you've never used OpenTX before, am I going to sit here and tell you that it's difficult, hard? It's not difficult. It's not hard to use, but it's different. It's way different. It's so much different than every other manufacturer out there that it will take you time to learn it and to wrap your head around all the different functions and the way that they work in OpenTX. It does everything that every other radio does. It just does it a lot differently, to say the least. So, while I am a firm believer in the "you get what you pay for" statement, I don't think that you're necessarily paying for an inferior piece of hardware when you get a Radiomaster TX16S. Whoa. But there's a lot of other inferior stuff that you are not getting when you choose to go this direction, where you're going to have vastly superior product support, you're going to have vastly superior software support, you're going to have much better repair, services at your fingertips. I mean, Spectrum's got them beat in every category except price. They've got them beat in ease of use. They've got them beat in almost anything. They cannot touch the price, and they won't. Spectrum's not trying to compete with these guys from a price perspective. They're competing with them for all the other things that make Spectrum cost $500. Oh, Wreck 'em Roy, and sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. I feel like Kenny right now, where I'm like talking a lot, because this is stuff that I'm passionate about. I love the tech side of RC. He's saying try it in something I don't care about. That's the plan. When I first fly this new Radiomaster receiver, it's not going in a $500 airplane. I'm going to try it in something small. I may try it in, I may try it in this Dynam plane, which brings me to a whole nother topic that I'm glad that I brought up, because we are doing some fun stuff here. In the very near future. BD Tennessee, I would agree. I would agree with that. In fact, I would not be shocked to find out that this radio, the NX10, which retails for $500, but you're paying for a lot more than just a piece of hardware, and that's something that you have to take into consideration. You may not like the fact that you pay $500 for this radio, but there's a lot more to it than just the radio. It's a whole family of support staff standing behind this radio. With this, you get what is effectively in the RC world a startup company and an open source development team and a community that will help you when they can, but they're not going to fix it if it breaks. You got to find a warranty center. Grayson Hobby here in Atlanta will take care of you. They're kind of acting as the pseudo warranty center, and they have a ticketing system that kind of forwards the tickets that you would submit through Radio Master over to Grayson, and Grayson will help you out, even if you didn't buy it from them, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all to find out that the hardware cost of the NX10 is either the same as a TX16S, and I wouldn't be shocked to find out that the TX16S may cost a little more. And we're not talking a lot, but if this costs 10 or 15 bucks more to produce than an NX10, I would not be shocked at all. So, just more stuff to keep in mind. And we'll leave those, you know, kind of front and center. Just so people know, you know, I'm not all Spectrum all the time. I love them, but I also love anything good and cool. And, you know, to deny the cool factor, to deny the disruption, to deny that the TX16S and the Radio Master company have made a big impact in the RC community over the past year, I mean, you're lying to yourself. If you don't think that these guys are coming strong, that's just, you're just ignoring it then. These are nice radios for the money. All right. So, all right. Now let's talk about some other fun stuff that's coming up. In May, and I can't remember the exact dates, but it's happening in May, the Imperial RC Club in Mulberry, Florida is going to be hosting the Pilot Ryan Fly-In. Do y'all like that or not, man? That's kind of cool. You know, the Pilot Ryan Fly-In. From May 12th through May 16th, we're going to be having the Pilot Ryan Fly-In down in Mulberry, Florida at the Imperial RC Club, which is a beautiful RC club down in Florida. It's near Tampa. So if you're looking for Mulberry on a map, it's near Tampa, near the Lakeland area. So that'll get you close. Or go to, you know, try to find it, like Google the Imperial RC Club, and you should be able to find it. And they have some maps of where you can go and look at that. One of the things that's really cool, and I'm sure that Ryan and I will both be touting this up quite a bit, we want to have some Reno style racing happening. Multiple planes in the air racing a circuit around the field, and people calling each other out like, you're cheating, you cut me off, you bastard. Reno Air Racer style, using Dynam Warbirds. So, and the reason that I think that this is fun, and that's what I was saying, like, I may use this receiver, this R168 receiver, I may use it in the Dynam planes, right? I think if we settle on a, number one, I expect that Reno style racing, we're gonna wreck planes. BD Tennessee, I absolutely agree. So, Nate, what's up, man? I mean, yeah, NX10, you know, these things are like the Apple of the RC community, and these things are like Android. You know, OpenTX is like Android. Maybe not even that user-friendly. OpenTX is kind of a pain in the ass. It's more like Linux, but once you figure out how to program it, it works great. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this R168 Radio Master transmitter is I'm going to use it in my Dynam plane that we use for our Reno Air Racer. And I don't even know what we're going to call it, you know. But my plan right now, my plane that I'm putting together is going to be called it's sponsored by BitGo. So in honor of my sponsor, I'm going to be painting a Hellcat. I believe it's an F6F Hellcat. Maybe an F7. I don't think it's an F7. I think it's an F6F Hellcat. Is that right? Yes, F6F Hellcat. I'm going to be painting that plane white, you know, with blue and black trim, and putting the BitGo logos on it and stuff. And we're going to be calling it the BitGo Blazer, and we're going to have like some script lettering on the nose of the plane, you know, and we might even put a naked lady on the front, because that's just fun. Jet Tech Don Atkins, I appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah. This isn't going to be like an open class. This is, you know, I want to see folks come out with like Dynam Warbirds, right? And what Bobby and I are doing, so Bobby Committa and myself, we are taking Dynam Warbirds and we are outfitting them with, you know, it's all stuff that you can get at BitGo. But ultimately, you can use whatever you want, but we want the planes to all be very similar. Right, so we want them to all be like that 1270 4S class plane, you know, which that consists of like the C40, or I'm not the C47. You'd get thrashed in the C47, but you've got the P47, the Hellcat, the Hawker Hurricane, the Hawker Tempest, the FW190, the BF109. These are all airplanes that kind of fit in that category. What Bobby is putting together, also like their S-Bach would fit there, and the GBY, and that's what Bobby's doing is a GBY. You know, all of those planes kind of fit into that category of racer style, and I think that they would all perform really well. Now what Bobby and I are doing is we're going to be using the Tomcat G25 motors. So, you know, while the plane is a constant, whatever modifications you want to make to that airframe, so Dynam airframe, and they're affordable, you know, and that's what I like about this. They're affordable. What you want to do with the electronics is totally up to you. If you want to use a super high kV, low cell count motor, you know, to try and spin like a big fat, you know, or a little tiny prop, that's completely up to you. Whatever you think is going to work best for your plane. Everybody has the option to tune the plane however they want. But, you know, that airframe class is what's going to keep things kind of even-steven. You know, if you want to completely replace all the servos with some digital Metal Gear, I'm going to be replacing all the servos in my Hellcat with Freewing servos. You know, they're cheap, they're good, and they're fast. And I'm going to be making some modifications to the airframe, you know, where I'm not going to have like the full control rod going back to the elevator and the rudder. I'm going to put those servos right into the back of the airframe and have control rods that are this long instead of this long. You know, so we're going to be taking a lot of that slop and play out of it and making it fly like, you know, like it's fully capable of. I'm going to be cutting out all the foam hinges and putting in, you know, real sturdy hinges, and replacing all of the clevises with ball links to get the play out. I don't want any play in any of the control surfaces, you know, because I fully intend for this to be like a 100-mile-an-hour airplane. I'm going to be taking the stock ESC out and putting in a Tomcat 80 amp ESC with a Tomcat G25 1100 and I think it's 1120 or 1180 kV. It's a ridiculous motor that's capable of like 900 and some odd watts of power, and strapping a 13.6 carbon fiber prop to it. And you know, all of the modifications that I am making to my plane, with the exception of the servos, are things that you can get at BitGo Hobby, and I wanted to stay with that theme, you know, with the idea being that we're going to take these, you know, these Dynam airplanes, and with a little bit of effort and a little bit of know-how, we're going to turn these things into these Reno Racer style airplanes, and show people what these Dynam planes can really do when you add a little bit of work to them. I mean, a lot of this stuff, not hard. Maybe $50 in upgrades, and you're going to have a plane that'll outperform anything on the market. I mean, the Dynam planes the airframes are good. It takes a little bit of, you know, finagling to get them together sometimes, but man, they're getting better and better with every new release. You know, the PT-17 was like the first look at what the new Dynam is going to look like, and that's a great plane. And now they've got the Hawker Hunter. You know, people are going to start seeing that here real soon. It's up for sale right now at BitGo. You can go to rcairmarshal.com, click on the BitGo link. I just think they have some in stock. If you're interested in one of the Hawker Hunters, go grab you one. I mean, these new Dynams, they're good. So, you know, I want to do this as kind of a, you know, not necessarily publicity, because I think that we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. But, you know, for the folks that come down there to the show in Mulberry, I don't want it to just be like me and Bobby and Ryan and maybe Wesley. I mean, let's get like 10, 20 people in on this. I think that'd be awesome, you know, to have like 6 planes in the air all racing, you know, Reno Racer style, you know, around the track. I mean, someone's going to get their butts kicked, and it's going to be awesome. And we'll have, you know, heat races, A mains, B mains. I mean, we're going to have a whole freaking circuit of air racer, like Dynam style. I think it's going to be awesome. And it doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to tell us what kind of airframe you're bringing. If everybody wants to do the same kind of airframe, that's up to you. They've even got air tractors. So if you want to come out there with Dusty Crop Hopper and kick all of our butts in like Reno Air Race style with a crop duster, that'd be awesome too. You know, so the TNRC, the fun of all of this is, if it does break, what do we do to make it better? You know, find a way to get these Dynam planes running 100 miles an hour. And I think that's part of the fun of it, is getting these low-cost airframes and souping them up, making them hot rods, getting them, you know, to fly 100+ miles an hour, I think is part of the challenge. And I think it'd be awesome. And there's going to be some crazy people out there that are going to take the freaking, like, they're just going to totally seal up the whole front of the motor and do like twins, and put like 200 amp ESCs in these things. Maybe strap some some ME262 nacelles under the wings, you know, just duct tape them on. That'd be enough, you know, and put like a 6S 70mm twin EDF setup on one of these little planes. So Guniak, my idea is high KV, mid pitch on 4S. So, you know, that Tomcat G25, I think is in the 1100 range, which is what a V900 is, but we're spinning a 13.6 prop. We're doing like a 13.6 carbon fiber prop. So the prop should be able to still bite enough, you know, and hopefully not lose any of that bite the more RPMs we spin on it. So I think we're going to be able to get up to 100 miles an hour with a, you know, a 1200, effectively a 1200 kV motor on 4S with a 13.6 prop. I think we're going to get there. And if we don't, we'll go back to the drawing board. Nate, dude, that Night Vapor is cool. Isaac Padilla, you know, I would prefer that all of the airframes be Dynam airframes in that 1250 to like 1400 range. You know, if you come up there with a, you know, with a 1.2 E flight or something like that, I mean, look, if you got an airplane that you want to race, we're not going to tell people no. But, you know, my idea is let's do this where we kind of make a project and we all kind of fall under the same constraints, just like you would in a real race. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you show up to race and you've got, you know, say an E-Flight Commander, which is a little bigger airframe, I mean, we're probably not going to tell you no. BD Tennessee, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Woo! A 10-10 prop. A 10-10 prop would be insano, but you know, the plane that I'm doing, and Guniak, I'm sure you've seen a Hellcat before. I don't think that a 10-10 prop is going to get enough prop. Well, oops. I don't think that a 10-10 prop is going to get enough prop wash around the cowling. I think I have to be running at least a 12 to 13 inch prop to overcome the just big fat fuselage that the Hellcat has. Yeah, Keith Christie, those damn spiders. Yeah, Pat, man, I got all the good stuff. Yeah, we still are rocking an IX-12 back here. It's charging right now. And, I mean, listen, IX-12 is awesome. IX-12 is awesome, but it's not for everybody. There's a bunch of people that hate them. NX-10, great radio for the people that hate the IX-12. NX-8 is great for the people that only need 8 channels. And for those of you guys that want to be different and go OpenTX, I think that this is one of the Radio Master TX16S is one of the best OpenTX radios on the market right now, including all offerings from Jumper, FR Sky, Fly Sky, whoever. The Radio Master TX16S is where it's at with OpenTX. I mean, if you're a Futaba guy, there's a new Futaba radio, the 16IZ, that just came out that looks awesome, and I think I want to get it. Wreckham Roy, man, we got to do something, don't we? We got to get a good camera crew. I know Amy's going to come down with me if she can. And I want to get as much, you know, as much footage as we can. But yeah, George, we're absolutely going to have some crazy stuff going on. And at this same field, if you guys recall, this same field is where I lost my V900, you know, trying to be all slick, and I ended up running it into the woods. You know, so if we put some pylons out there, we might get like the, you know, the crazy arm men that they have at used car dealerships. we might get some of those to be the the pylons for our air racing, so we can just turn them on and turn them off real quick. Yeah, we're definitely going to have Lori out there, but we need multiple camera people so we can follow the different airplanes, especially if we have 4, 5, 6 airplanes in the air all at once. I mean, if we follow the rules of the field, what is the rule at Mulberry? Do you remember, Dennis or Kenny? Is it 5 people in the air at once? David yourself, what's up? Yeah, so 5 people in the air at once at Mulberry, and I think maybe they would open up to one of the things that I really love about the Imperial RC Club is how lenient they are, not breaking the rules, but maintaining some flexibility when you have special circumstances that you want to have accommodated. And I think if we wanted to put 6 airplanes up, especially in a semi-controlled atmosphere where when you're just free flying, there's not as much care where other airplanes are. But when you are in a race, you're going to be paying attention to all the planes around your plane, because I want to win, So even if it's 5, I think that's a good number of airplanes in the air, racing against each other in like a heated competition, like NASCAR style airplane racing. If you guys have ever watched Reno air racing, it is some of the most exciting stuff on the planet, because the stakes are so high. And I think it would be awesome to do that in an RC format. Not just pylon. I mean, we're not talking like timed where we're racing against the clock. Like, we are no kidding racing against each other. Crashes are inevitable. There will be shredded foam happening. And I think that would be awesome. And I think it was 5 at the Boozer fly-in. For E-Jets, it may be 4. But I think when we're talking prop planes, I think it was 5 that we could have in the air back in November. And I would have to check and see with the, I'll send an email to Jerry, who I believe is the president of the club down there, Jerry McGee. Unless he's in here and he can just tell us, that'd be awesome. BD Tennessee, no joke. No joke. How will we start the race? I mean, don't the I will watch the Reno air races and find out. I'll watch the Reno air races and I'll find out. Like, how do they start those races? Do they start them on the ground and everybody has to take off at the same time? Because that'd be awesome. So, Dana, the reason that I got this one, so Radio Master, I think there were 7 different receivers that were available. This is the most advanced and most expensive receiver they have. So again, just to reiterate, this is 8 PWM channels. This has S-Bus. It has S-Port. It has an RSSI output on like a completely separate channel. I think it's actually channel 16 of the D16 formula or protocol, and it's got a battery input. So I mean, we're talking a lot of inputs on this radio, and I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing how much stuff they packed into such a small little radio. Number one, the receiver. It's small. The footprint of this receiver is small for 8 channels. Dual antenna diversity style. Long, style antennas where you can mount them, appropriately. You're not like, they don't give you these little tiny antennas. And $13. $13 for an S-Bus serial receiver, up to 16 channels over S-Bus, 8 PWM outputs, $13. I don't know what kind of magic they're freaking doing over there in China, or if they're just saying, screw it, we're not in this for the money. We're still going to make a profit, but we're not trying to like rape people through the coals. And we don't have the support network that everybody else has, but we're going to make good product and we're going to sell it at reasonable prices. I mean, this is awesome. It's awesome stuff. I mean, I never thought that I would be able to tell you guys, like, hey, go get your 8-channel S-Bus capable receiver for $13. Ever. If it works good, that is a smoking deal. If it works good, if it works great, it's the deal of the freaking century. Okay. Let them out. Dang. Don't talk to me like that. It is cheap. So, guys, I am excited for the event in May. I hope that you guys are able to make it down. I think it's going to be awesome. That is a great...
What's happening in May? What's happening in May?
So we're having the Pilot Ryan fly-in in Mulberry, Florida.
Where is that?
It's the same place that I was at.
Do I get to go?
If you want. Can't stop that. And we are going to be hosting a...
Hey, what?
12th through the 17th? We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, I am super stoked about the Reno Air Racing. RC style Reno Air Racing. I think that's going to be freaking fabulous. And if we can get it on tape, it's going to be just stupid cool. I'm excited about being able to try out this Radio Master radio. I'm excited about being able to try out this new receiver. $13 for 8 channels. If it works, it is just awesome. But we shall see. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming. And I mean, we've got this F-16 we need to get up in the air at some point. I need to, go and get a little bit of redemption on my Husky. The flight was great, but the landing was not so great. We may put that on for you guys to see. There's just a lot of really cool stuff coming, and I'm excited about the weather changing. I mean, it's supposed to be cold for another month or so, but man, I'm looking forward to getting back in the air and flying again. And being able to see everybody being able to do that. I know that the winter time is, kind of the dull time for us. But hey, we're getting close. We're getting close to flying weather again. And that's awesome. So Roy, I think that I think that you're right. If it's a good receiver, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes for what can be done. Because look, even if $13 gets you a really good receiver, I mean, how they can't do this and not make money. They can't do it. It cannot be done if you're going to do it and not make money. But what I'm saying is, this is full range telemetry in this receiver. That's what the smart port is. the S-Bus serial receiver. I mean, this thing from any other manufacturer would be $60, $70, $80, maybe more. So what are they doing? You know, where are the shortcuts being taken? Or have they found ways to manufacture these things more efficiently where it doesn't take them as long and they can get it done and get it done with quality components at an affordable price and be able to sell them, no kidding, for $13? That's crazy. I have to try it out. You know what I mean? Like, I have to. I owe it to the entire freaking RC community to try this thing out. This deserves our attention. It's $13. And everything that I've seen about them so far would suggest that they work great. So I gotta try it. If it's a piece of crap, I'll let you guys know. You know what I'm saying? But if it works amazing, I mean, how can you deny it if it works awesome? What do you do, man? All right, and I have a couple of other really cool things that are coming up on the channel here in the near future. We've got some very new things from Dynam that are coming, and it looks great. So I'm looking forward to being able to share that with you guys. You know, we've obviously got the transformation of the TX16 from, you know, the old, like, OG style TX16S to the carbon fiber with the red trim. I think that's going to be neat. We've obviously got a lot of material coming here in the near future on the NX10. I've already got a bunch of videos done, but I had to do some things in my computer. I ran out of space in my computer. That's how many videos I've made in the last year. So we're doing a whole series on the NX10, you know, and I've already got like 5 or 6 videos already filmed, but they need to be edited, published, all that stuff. I mean, guys, the things that are coming up on the channel here in the near future are going to be great, and I hope that you guys stay tuned in as we, you know, kind of move into high gear into 2021. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too, man. I think that we're going to have a lot of fun this year. So it's 9:59. I know Ray is going to be coming on here in 15 minutes. So I am going to go ahead and start to wind things down. If anybody has any last minute questions, be sure to ask them, or any suggestions, anything like that. Gary Vale, I got my hands on one of the new Radio Master receivers. So let me flip back over to the other camera here. So this is the new, it is the Radio Master R168. This uses the FR Sky ACC-ST protocol on D16. It's got serial output, so it's got S-Bus output, so up to 16 channels on S-Bus. It has the smart port telemetry. It's got 8 PWM channels. It's also got like an analog, like a PWM style RSSI output, as well as a battery input. And this, you know, 8-channel full telemetry receiver with S-Bus, you know, serial output. This is $13. $13. So I gotta try it out. And we're obviously going to be flying that on our Radiomaster TX16S. So we'll see what's up, man. I gotta try it out. I am not going to be getting the new FW190. I'm just not a big fan of German planes. Listen, I'll review German planes, but I'm not going to pay for them ever. So the only way that I will ever do that FW190 is by specific request, and it would have to be crowdfunded. Or somebody would have to, you know, send it here. I mean, look, there's more than enough stuff that I'm willing to pay for on my own. All this stuff that you see here today, none of it was given to me. I went out and bought it on my own. But the only way that I do German planes is if someone sends it to me for review. Now, you know, the irony of that is I have an FW190 from Dynam, one of the best flying planes I've got. Ah, George. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Have a good night, Roach Coach. See you later, buddy. Richard Webb, no problem. And I think that that's a great comparison. You know, I don't like German planes. Just me. I think that was you know, a smear on the world that we can, you know, just erase that blip. But or not erase it, but listen, I'm a big fan of preserving history and all that stuff, but that's just a part of history that I don't want to have nothing to do with. That was a bad part of the world. You know what I mean? So, at least in my opinion. You know, will I fly Spitfires? Hell yeah, I'll fly some Spitfires. I would even fly Japanese planes like Zeros, because I think that ultimately what the Japanese did was less cowardly than what the Germans were doing. Or at least what Hitler was doing. I mean, like, the Japanese were just trying to take over the world. More power to you. You tried and we whooped your ass, and now we're friends and it's cool. The Germans were not trying to take over the world. They were trying to commit genocide, and that's just, what the no. You get it, man. I just don't like that part of history. So I'm not going to pay for a German plane. You know, if there are license agreements made with Focke-Wulf can suck it. They're not getting my money. That's how it is. But, like I said, the FW190 flies amazing. I mean, they had some incredible engineers over there. So, now, post-war Germany, like a new German-built airframe, new German-built cars and trucks and stuff, but, like, that time frame Germany, screw those guys. Anyway, I'm going to get running, guys. Gooniac's going to be live here in 10 minutes. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. All the people that leave super chats, all the people that leave, you know, PayPal contributions. Thank you guys all so much. One of the biggest things that you guys can do to support the channel is, you know, you're going to be buying planes anyway. If you're going to be buying Dynam planes, you know, if you're going to be buying stuff from Horizon Hobby anyway, if you're going to Amazon, if you're doing whatever, guys, one of the best ways that you can support these channels, whether it's my channel or Pilot Ryan or Wesley or GB, or I don't know if Kenny's got any affiliate links yet, but when he does, you know, Kenny, Jeff's Custom RC, we've all got affiliate links. And, you know, pick one on your favorite day of the week and use our links. you know, we get a little bit of a kickback from it, but it doesn't change the price that you're going to pay for it. So if you've got coupon codes, you can still use them. It's a couple of extra clicks that provide a huge benefit back to these channels and allow us to, you know, to present all this information to you and learn more about the hobby and keep up with it. And, you know, without that support, it would be much more difficult, infinitely more difficult for us to be able to continue doing what we're doing. So if you're, you know, interested in ways to help the channel, when you buy your next airplane, head over to rcairmarshal.com, click on the Dynam link, click on the BitGo link, click on the Horizon link, wherever you want to buy a plane from that day. Click on the Amazon link. You're going to buy yourself a set of screwdrivers. You want to get yourself a nice fancy, you know, something for your wife, some skin cream. Head over to Amazon.com. All the links are right there at rcairmarshal.com. All your shopping, I mean, you can damn near buy anything you want using the links on my webpage. And they help the channel out a tremendous amount. And I really appreciate you guys considering using those. If you do, awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. You can also use Pilot Ryan stuff at pilotryanmedia.com. You can use GB Linden's links at gblinden.com. I mean, we've all got them, and we just ask for you guys to, you know, think about how much we help you out. If we help you out a lot, we certainly appreciate you using those links. If we don't help you out at all, don't do it. But thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody who came out tonight. No, we're not giving away websites. But, you know, like I was saying, my website, rcairmarshal.com, we've got Horizon, we've got BitGo Hobby, we've got Amazon, we've got Banggood, we've got my PayPal link on there, we've got our Teespring store, so if you're interested in some RC Air Marshal merchandise, all the things that you can do to support our channel are all right there at rcairmarshal.com. And if you want to get in touch with me and send me a personal message, you can go to rcairmarshal.com and click the contact button, and I will usually get back to you within a day or two. That comes right into my personal email. I'm not going to give away my email address. Some of you guys know it, some of you don't, but you can definitely get in touch with me through the rcairmarshal.com website. And thanks everybody again for coming and hanging out with us tonight. If you are not a subscriber yet, shame on you. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you're always made aware when we have new videos coming out. And be sure to tune in to our great friend Ray, who goes by Gooniac33 Fiery Booty. His show's going to be starting up here in about 5 minutes. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night, guys.